Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Wednesday, May 25th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So, in today's video, we'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about my core plays for today, and then talking about my top GPP stacks for the FanDuel main slate for today as well. But without further ado, we're going to get into a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we had George Kirby, $7,000. He got us 30 points yesterday. Not a bad day by any means, but obviously there were some other better pitchers. He was a push. If you guys paid up a pitcher just a little bit to Sonny Gray, who I did talk a little bit about yesterday, he was the top overall pitcher on the slate, so it could have worked out that regard. Then we had first baseman Jared Walsh, $3,300, got us 27.9 points. He is ahead. He was the third overall first baseman on the slate, so obviously a very, very good value there. Then at shortstop, we had Corey Seager, $3,400, a guy that had hit Noah Syndergaard very, very well in the past, but he was a mess yesterday, had 0 points over 4 on the day overall. Then we moved down to Bryce Harper, $4,600, got us 38.2 points. He was a hit and the third overall outfielder on the slate, so obviously a very, very good day for him. The only guys there above him, I believe, were Mookie Betts and Jock Peterson, who both hit multiple home runs. And Jock Peterson was a guy that was in my cheat sheet yesterday, so if you got a little bit of exposure to him, definitely panned out yesterday. And then last but not least, we have Mike Trout, $4,500. He got us 6 points. I gave him a push. Not a guy that really helped us, but not a guy that completely killed us yesterday. So a little bit of a hit or miss day yesterday. I did have some success with some of the other guys that were in my cheat sheet, adding them to my core picks, especially guys like Jock Peterson, the lineup that I did throw Sonny Gray in. So there was some pretty good lineups overall yesterday. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to today's core picks. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position with Christian Javier, $8,200, averaging about 21.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Kind of was a slow start for him to the season, starting to turn around as of late, pitching a little bit deeper into games, pitching a little bit more effectively. Goes against the Cleveland Guardians today. Offense has been a little bit better than expected, but still not that great overall. If you can just avoid some trouble versus Josh Naylor and Jose Ramirez, probably going to be in pretty good shape today. And then at first base, we have Joey Votto, $2,400. And if we're being completely honest, hasn't been the greatest year for him. Was dealing with some COVID for a little while as well. But since he's returned, he's starting to hit the ball a little bit better again. He's 13 for 36 with 4 home runs versus Kyle Hendricks in his career. So there definitely is some upside there today. $2,400, a cheap price tag. It definitely allows us to pay out for some other players on today's slate. Then we move down to shortstop Tim Anderson, $3,900. Averaged about 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He's been on a tear about the last 5 games or so. He hits left-handed pitching very, very well. Rich Hill's pitching today for the Boston Red Sox. He's 0 for 2 versus him in his career, but looking to change that today. Then we move down to his teammate in A.J. Pollock, $2,700, averaging exactly 7 fantasy points per game on the season. Don't see that too often. But he is 4 for 20 with 3 home runs versus Rich Hill, who is pitching obviously for the Boston Red Sox today. He's a guy that hits left-handed pitching pretty well as Tim Anderson. So definitely have some interest in A.J. Pollock today. And then I didn't even realize I was doing this when I was going through everything, but the White Sox are my favorite team, but this stack looks pretty good today against Rich Hill. And they do hit left-handers very well over the past couple of years. So Jose Abreu, $2,900, pretty good value spot for him as well. Averaged about 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He's really been starting to turn it up and hit a little bit better as of late. Obviously, there's 2 first basemen in this core picks, so if you don't want to play 2, just pick one of them and then kind of go from there. But definitely interested in this White Sox stack today. I do want to say, though, there's about a 60% chance of rain for that game, so we'll see if it gets played or not. Obviously, if it doesn't get played, I'll update the core picks throughout the day. And then the Cubs and Cincinnati game, there's like a 30% chance of rain, so we'll see if anything happens with that game as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have here, you have $14,900, just over $3,700 per player, so definitely a lot of room and flexibility to pay up. And there are some pretty good pay up options on today's slate overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet over at WeBetATS.com and talk about my top GPP stacks for the FanDuel main slate for today. So obviously the big one we already talked about quite a bit is the White Sox going against Rich Hill of the Boston Red Sox. Obviously they've hit left-handed pitching very, very well for about 2.5 years now. So no real question marks there. Some of these guys have decent history versus Rich Hill. Some of these guys have not really faced him too much, but definitely a lot of interest in these White Sox hitters today. Then we have the Los Angeles Angels going against Glenn Otto and the Texas Rangers. A little bit of history there, and they have hit him pretty well so far, so no qualms going to the Angels once again today. And then last but not least, kind of that surprise team, the Cincinnati Reds, who have hit Kyle Hendricks pretty well throughout the past. We've got guys like Joey Votto, Tommy Pham, A couple other guys you could mix in here and there, and probably going to be a stack that's not drawing a lot of ownership today. If they can get on Kyle Hendricks early, if that game does end up being played, I should say, too, then they could be a stack that's a little bit sneaky on today's slate overall. But with that being said, these are my core picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, May 25th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on today's slate, whether it's somebody from my core picks, whether it's somebody from my top GPP stacks, or a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's MLB or USFL. Those are the two main ones at this point in time. Once we get back around to the NFL and NBA regular seasons, I will be covering those sports as well. And then with that being said, if you are new or current subscribers yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.